Welcome to the Stoppage Time edition of the Pitch to Pro podcast. This is a highlight reel of some of the best moments from the show so far, and every other week we will be bringing you a special 5 to 7 minute segment featuring the best stories, tales, and moments of the podcast.
I'm a soccer fan. In this country, it was kind of awkward. It was
right.
What do you mean? It's so boring.
Yeah,
you don't know.
Yeah,
I've seen 0-0 games be the most fascinating
things
I could watch on TV. Incredible.
I agree with
that. It's pretty awesome. So I think that's been awesome. You know, that's how I got into soccer.
And now
it has grown. It has built up. It has exploded in popularity. You know, you see these. It's happening.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things people complain about the way our youth systems are set up.
Right.
Pay to play or whatnot. You need a field and a ball.
Yeah.
A couple backpacks.
Yeah.
You're playing.
Yeah. That's what's amazing about it. It's so accessible. So that's great. That's an incredible story, and one that I too one day hope that I get to live out when we maybe in my lifetime win a World Cup. And be able to celebrate in that way.
I'm hang on to this moral quote. I don't care what it is.
So you took that and now have pivoted that into your, maybe not entirely lifelong, but a very large part of your life as a soccer supporter. And specifically, let's get into what does it mean to be a supporter of the national team, and talk a little bit about that versus your club. That some people may be very passionate about their club team, and talk a little bit about the American Outlaws and what is that culture like, and talk a little bit about that.
I mean, soccer, it cut the variety of packages offered, international club, UEFA, all this stuff. If people like what they like. For me, it's the international game. I love nation versus nation soccer. And while I admit that club game is way more technically good because these guys play together for lots of money all the time, I still love when these professionals come back to their country and represent. It's fun. It's fun to have a little pride for something that means something to you. It matters. We could see the obvious difference. Anybody who's a soccer fan knows the difference between our men's team and our women's team in the scope of their success.
Yes.
And it's still kind of exciting in a lot of ways to support an underdog, which is our men's team.
Yeah.
And every victory is just that. It's awesome.
We almost kind of have the best of both worlds, where you get to support a global powerhouse or a historical global powerhouse and watch the women handle some business, and then you get the underdog story with the men. And
oh my gosh,
the whole
Colombia game was.
Oh yeah. For those that don't know, we just had a tune-up game for the Copa America, and we unfortunately lost to Colombia 5-1, although it was 2-1 in roughly the 60th minute. So they were doing okay, and then the wheels kind of came off. So hopefully not. They're getting the cobwebs out now in these tune-up games. That's what they're for, ahead of the tournament itself. So
that was a rough one considering the lineup we had.
Yeah,
you're like, okay, this looks like our guys.
Yeah.
So,
and we have. There's that evolution of increasingly becoming, a little bit less of the underdog, but still an underdog as we continue to progress as a soccer nation on the men's side. You have, I think this was the first time or one of the first times you have had the starting 11 all playing for club soccer in the top 5 leagues in the world.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, just, that's the thing about, to Al's point, that's the thing about the national team. Your player pool is limited to those that have citizenship in the United States, that you don't necessarily have to have been born here, but you have to have citizenship in the country. And so that limits your player pool. Whereas on the club side, you can buy and sell players from all over the world. And so if you have a specific system that you like to play, you can go and buy and sell those players to your heart's delight and within your budget and the rules, but by and large can kind of shape and mold your team around that.
For sure.
On the national team side, you have your player pool where the coach's job, at least in my opinion, there are coaches that will still try to impose their specific style of play. But I think from my perspective, it's the job of the national team manager to understand the talent that they have and then fit the system and their style of play to that for the best possible results with the talent and the players that they have.
Thank you for joining us for this Stoppage Time special of the Pitch to Pro podcast. If you've enjoyed the conversation, you can click watch the full episode here. Be sure to tune in next Thursday for a new episode of the Pitch to Pro podcast,
the official podcast of Ozark United FC.
Available on YouTube, Instagram, and everywhere you get your podcasts.